board aren't important, then why are they there?
All right, let's start this number 4 or 5 or something like that. So I was proposing that we fill up, like, basically anything, like, we should just agree on what the minimum stuff we need for 1.0 to be done is, and then just fill up that other project board with a 1.0 release accordingly, or delete everything from the board currently other than the things that need to be in 1.0, and then just like don't touch this board until 1.0 is done, which I'd rather just have a fresh board for it to track the release. So, thoughts?
Yeah, so the existing board, the stuff sitting in to do that was like triaged, what do we do with that?
As with, like, okay, so what I said was we would go through shit, and anything that we want in 1.0, let's make sure it's on the 1.0 board. So if it's something we've already triaged, doesn't matter. It's same as everything else. Like, if it should be in 1.0, let's put it there. Because, like, I don't know if all the stuff that's been triaged needs to be in 1.0. Sure, I know a lot of it actually doesn't. So, yeah.
All right.
All right, well, I guess I'll share screen.
Oh, we got dark mode here.
Yeah. All right. So, it's like, it's a bit confusing because, like, the way I had been sort of framing things in the past was that really this is 1.0 of the spec that we're releasing, not any of the other tools. So the only tickets that we should be concerning ourselves with are tickets that are on the spec. And if there's something that's like untested with the spec, then I'd argue that we just make that as a ticket on the spec then, right? So there were a bunch of things. Now there's stuff in Playground, right, that tests links and examples, or sorry, links and servers, right?
All right, so what about tools that don't have all the features of the spec?
I don't think that that's the point. I think the point is to reach a 1.0 of the spec, which then you ask the question is like, well, what's holding back the spec from being 1.0? And in most cases, it's just that there's nothing that has like, we haven't tested a particular feature of it yet. So I think, though, that we have now used everything in there, right? And yeah, sure, not from every project, but at least something uses it in every context, and therefore it's been thought about. And like, and if not, then okay, let's add it as a ticket. That's kind of my point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we're to just roll through all this stuff, We don't really have anything that uses tags very much. Like we have
No,
examples that have tags in them, but the tags aren't really being used.
I can put that in the docs React. It's more of an issue for docs React, right?
Well, like going back to what I was saying originally, the goal is to make a 1.0 release of Spec, meaning the question is, what is needed for Spec? The Spec needs something that tries tags. So I don't care what thing uses tags, but we just need something that uses tags.
Well, the only thing that would is the doc.
Okay, well that's fine then. Do it in the docs too then, right? Like it's going to make it so much more complicated and confusing to try to track all this stuff if we're putting tickets everywhere.
Use a pristine badge too.
The Spec? Yeah, I don't know, maybe.
Because you use the pristine, like contributing conventional commands, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
Like it already is pristine. I don't know what we're talking about.
He says put the badge in it.
Oh, yeah. So what? Let's put the badge in.
Well, like this is going to be converted to like PDFs and stuff. So I don't know what that amounts to in a PDF, but if you want to put the badges in a PDF, then yeah, sure. Okay, do you want to make a ticket for that stuff?
Yeah, make one.
I think we're fine to have 1.0 without the
Yeah, it's a low priority.
badge. Yeah. Okay, back to these things. External docs, nothing tests that yet. I don't think we're doing this one right. Like this should be format URI, right? In the metaschema. And I think we have examples that are doing this as like just putting GPL or whatever, or what, Apache 2.
No, that's license.
Oh, that's terms of service, yeah. So it's like, do we have anything that has that? I don't know.
Yep. Docs have it.
Has terms of service?
Yep.
So like one of the examples is doing it or no?
I'm not sure if any of the examples have it, but I know the tests do in docs.
And it expects it to be a link?
Yeah, it just makes a button that says terms of service.
Yeah. Okay.
It should be in docs React.
Well, I just want to see if it's yeah.
I think we can improve it with the format thing, maybe, right?
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of URL things we can improve that format, right? Contact, license has a URL.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if we really care to make that.
No.
It's like we're not really gonna block the release on this being done. So
No, it's just more strict validation. So,
yeah. We have stuff that uses this too, right? In the React docs.
yep.
Yeah. Tag server. Yeah, so at the moment, React doc stuff does something around this, like it does some kind of templating, right? Or no?
No, it shows the URL and it also shows the variable. Like it just shows you what's there. It doesn't do anything special.
Okay.
Like there might be some other tools like generator client that takes these variables and makes them like TypeScript config objects or something, you know?
Yeah. I'm sure the metaschema is probably missing some stuff for that, no? Like the variables,
Nope, I did all of that.
like default being required. Guarantee you didn't do that.
Did I do default as required? I'm pretty sure I did.
No way. Oh shit. Fucking A. Well, I'll take that back. Nice. Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, I guess the big question is like, actually, yeah, never mind. We'll leave that out for now. Oh, this is kind of fucked, eh?
Yeah. Maybe it just doesn't fit. I don't know.
Any other examples? Yeah, like these ones are all on one line. I think it might be because of like some like part of it being inside of the backticks, part of it not, maybe.
Yeah. Extra T in there.
Okay, so
Well, those other ones look fine, eh? On the method object.
yeah. Anything in here that we haven't touched really? Deprecated, I guess.
Yeah. Should have deprecated to something.
Is this well represented in the docs too? Yeah.
No, not at all. I don't think I have anything that supports that.
Really?
Yeah. I need to add that. I'll make a ticket for that right now.
Okay, well, at least it's fully supported elsewhere, so it's not a big deal. Like, it's been tested out, so I mean, I'm not worried about it. I know it works. Is there anything else? No. Examples, we already did that a lot. Links, do we want to, like, I know you're just displaying the links, right, in the docs, that's all, right?
Yeah, nothing crazy. Like, I was thinking later we can like link, like have a hyperlink that links to where it is or whatever. It like scrolls to it. But yeah, as of right now, it's not a link. It's it's not a
There was
hyperlink.
nothing that came up.
Rendered.
There was nothing that came up when you were using it that made it seem like it wasn't finished.
No, like it's pretty useful the way it is right now. Like there's some improvements we can make, but
There's no way, like, you can't think of anything that is missing so that when you go to try to use it later in, say, client generator, like it's missing a field or one of the fields is just wrong or not needed.
I think it's good right now. Oh, that required is in the wrong place. Should be in the description.
What?
That required is in the wrong place. Should be in description, right?
We don't have anything that does runtime expressions, though.
Oh, I know. Don't care. I don't want to talk about that right now. Maybe we can take that offline after the call.
Why, it doesn't work?
I don't want to get into it, man.
Why? Wasn't that exactly what this is for?
Pardon?
Isn't that what this meeting, like, time is for, is getting into that stuff? Or no?
Okay, well, like, it's saying that it's going to execute a runtime expression that is like an ABNF. And like, if we ever want this to work in the browser, like, we're going to have to embed this giant ABNF parser. So, like, I don't really want to get into that right now. I can keep it simple to templating for now. Like, look what it says. It's like the runtime expressions based on the following ABNF syntax, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go find an ABNF parser, and then we're gonna have to make that work in the browser if we ever want runtime expressions to work, right?
Yeah.
And like, how big is an ABNF parser for this language? It's probably pretty big.
Well, I'd be shocked if it was. It's like pretty simple language here.
Well, like, if there's a good one out there. That'd be great.
Yeah, so like we need, well, like, I mean, OpenAPI, this is just copied from OpenAPI. So like they obviously have this working.
Yeah, we should see what they're using.
Anyway, we need to actually test it or delete it. So
Yeah. So let's make a ticket for that.
I did.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, so example content descriptor. We don't have anything that actually uses Markdown in here.
Wow. Yeah, no examples, but I know that the docs use it for the. Actually, the docs use it for all of it now. Okay.
Huh?
Like the docs. I don't know if there's a good test for that, but they do under Markdown for that.
Okay, well, we can close the ticket when we do know.
Yeah, we should actually write a good test for that.
Yeah.
Should be like, because right now it just tests that the description renders, but it should also test that, like, when you bold something, like it doesn't end up having the stars around it or whatever,
We don't have anything that tests that is like the required on content descriptor. It's kind of a weird one where like this is how you would do optional params. Right?
The docs have that.
What?
The docs tell you like required or not. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but like, hey, the problem here is that in a lot of cases, the docs don't actually really use it. It's just like displaying you what fields are there in most cases.
Okay, well the docs.
Like what I'm talking about is like, does this actually work? Does it actually make sense? Like, do you know why this is used?
Yeah, there's lots of, like, when you have optional fields and required fields.
Okay, so what happens if it's by position and the first item is required, but the second one isn't?
You tell
How
me.
should the client handle that? Because the first one's optional, so you can include it or not. And then the second one, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, if I pass you one arg, and it's at like, and if like, how does it resolve which one's which? You know?
So you need to make sure it works in the client.
Well, like, we need to make sure that this concept works, not that it works in the client, but that the underlying idea makes sense and there's a way in which that it would work. Like, same problem if you're implementing a server. Like, okay, you get a method, it gets one param, it takes 7 params, but 6 of them are optional. Like, or say, and then you pass 2 of them. Like, which one did you pass in? The required one, and then which of the optional ones? You don't know. So, like, I don't know how we handle that case.
Like, how does the validation handles it before it gets to doing the by position for then by params thing, right? Anyway, you should make a ticket for seeing how to deal with this in the client.
It's not in the client. It's literally everywhere. Anytime you're getting params, parsing params, sending params, like if there's one that's optional, you're gonna have to handle it. And then handling it, I don't know what that means right now. Yeah, I still think that this should be required. There's a ticket there for it.
Yeah. I think we can do that for 1.0.
Did you see I had added a ticket that would remove all the examples from the spec? Like, can you imagine, like, do you know how much easier it'd be to maintain and like not make mistakes? And also the fact that we have a repo full of examples already.
Yeah, I was thinking about that when I was doing the descriptions of everything.
Like,
You can generate it all you do is copy the descriptions over.
What? What?
We don't have to do that before 1.0, I don't think. Internet cut out.
I don't think we have anything that does this external value stuff.
No, we don't. And like external docs.
Yeah, I already did that. This says it's a map of strings. It's not right. It's an array.
No.
Oh, right.
Is it length? Yeah, it is.
Well, like, see, it's like not. Like, does by position and by name matter here? Because if it was by position, then how important is the parameter name?
Yeah, I know. Like, well, it's gonna have to do the dot name anyway, in both cases, for it to work like this.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta like probably actually make something that would, like, given a response, generate the links for the response and see how difficult it is to do it with this structure.
Well, not only that, but that fear, the embedded ABNF thing.
What?
That embedded ABNF language that needs to be,
Sure, yeah.
because that's what the value of those links are. The like $params.id.
I still think we should just take links out for version 1 because we can add them. And if we add them right now and we actually clearly don't have a fucking clue if it works or not, we might be shooting ourselves in the foot.
Well, like I can take some time this week and make sure it works.
Well, like, I honestly wouldn't believe that it actually works properly unless we make some sort of like util that'll give you links given a response and a method call. Like I give it the method name and I give it the response. It gives me back like an object or like a mapping of link to like functions, links to functions. And like, I don't know, it doesn't really matter if the function actually makes the RPC call. It just needs to prove that it has like, it can be done relatively simply. And that, like, I'm sure it can be done. I just don't know if that's the simplest way for it to be done right now. I'm like, I don't know if it for sure works in every single case. Yeah.
Like this already works for OpenAPI, right? So like there's obviously good examples, working examples.
Yeah, but we've changed things to like quite a bit, right? Like their concept of links had to do with like mapping stuff onto query params or like the request body or whatever else. Form.
This is a lot simpler though.
Well, it's simpler, but it has the by name thing. And it's different. Like, I don't know. I think we should take it out. Because it's not like we're getting any benefit from it right now anyways.
I think it's going to be super useful.
It's not.
To build like stuff like explorers.
Okay, well, how about when we're ready for it, we add it in then? Because we're not ready for it. We don't have any of the other stuff like fully done yet. So like we're not at any point where we can start implementing this. And it's not like that's going to change in the next 4 days either.
I agree with that, but if it's not 100%, then it's not in the release.
Well, 100% of what though? Like without
if you're not sure if it works, then
yeah.
include it when you are sure it works.
Well, I'd rather just remove it and add it back in when we're happy with it going back in and when we are ready to actually implement it. Right now we're not. It's like,
yeah, I think that's objective.
Same with like say the vendor extensions. Like we're super far from having that work. Like, if people started trying to use it right now, they would have a very bad time. So like we probably shouldn't include it then because we clearly haven't really tested it properly, and we're not really at the point where we can yet either. Like, we don't have the basics fully finished. Like, there's no problem with adding these things in later because they don't break anything. They just add features, which is kind of the point, is that we want to never have to deprecate or remove anything. So if we're not like 1,000,000% sure that it's right and that's the way that we want it to stay forever, and if yeah, I don't know.
So should we revert all the stuff that supports links right now?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if we should make a decision right now. Let's just like think about it, I guess. One of's the only one we needed, right? Like, for mixing content descriptors. Yeah.
One of, all of,
Well, like, all of doesn't really make any sense, right? Because like, and I don't think any of does either. Because like, well, I guess any of does make sense. All of is the only one, I guess, that really doesn't make sense. Because you don't want to, like, you can't really compose these things. You can't say like it's missing the point if you're trying to do that. Like, you should compose schemas, not content descriptors.
yeah.
And then the like any of, I still kind of want to say the same, but
Pretty sure we have.
Yeah. Same thing.
Already.
Like, one of is going to be like, yeah, it's got to be one of these things. Any of would be like, it can be as many as of these things as you want. Like, that doesn't really make too much sense, right? Like, yeah. Not for, like, maybe it makes sense in a schema, not really for content. I don't know, I think we're okay like this.
Yeah, the stuff we have is mostly just one of. Okay, that works.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's pretty much it. So, like, let's look at the board. So let's just go through this to-do list and kick out anything that is for sure not part of 1.0. I think everything in here is, though. This is already done.
I have like a bunch of tickets that are to pristine repos.
Yeah.
You want to do that before 1.0?
Like, again, it's 1.0 of the spec, right? It's not 1.0 of all of the tools.
Yeah.
Like, I really wanted to get multi-language done, not because I want Rust clients, but because I want to prove out that like that this works in two different languages, right? Not that I thought it wouldn't, but just that plus like testing a lot of little features in there. So yeah. Anyway. I think this is in review already, isn't it? Yeah. Um, hmm. So what do you think? Anything we got to add to this that's in the spec board? Perhaps this one, move it in, like to update the FAQ.
Yeah. Yeah, that one should be in. It's a tough one.
I think we can get by without, like, we don't need to put this in 1.0 because we can add it later without breaking. It wouldn't be a breaking change, right?
Yeah.
It would be like oh, now you can just like put this thing over here and delete a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Can schemas be extended with specification extensions? Honestly, man, I don't know. I really think we should take them out because we're just not ready for them.
Well, you should look at the ticket because you answered yourself like, oh yeah, that sounds fine. I'm like, I don't think that would be like trivial. Like, then you got to make sure like whatever this thing.
No, because any field that it doesn't know is ignored. So it's not like you have to handle it really. Like,
Yeah, but it's like, well, it's like, what does it do inside of that? If it's just a JSON schema, right? Like, sure, you're allowed, but I'm not sure why you would need anyway. Why I think it shouldn't be in there. Like, we shouldn't be. We shouldn't tell people that that's like a thing. Is
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, we're just not ready for this yet. I have no good informed opinions about that because I haven't actually tried it. So
yeah.
that's why we should take it out. This one is already done. Yeah. OpenRPC document. We've been calling it OpenRPC schema, OpenRPC document, OpenRPC spec.
Yeah,
So I guess we'll align on document then.
that's what the spec says.
It's quite interchangeable.
I think we actually have to put this one in because we can't add it later. That would be a breaking change, right? Just basically saying, like, don't use names, like, don't use characters in names that are going to cause problems for when you try to use them as IDs.
Yeah,
For
like
example, is like
TypeScript spaces.
well, like, yeah, you just shouldn't have spaces in them at all because that's going to be a problem.
Yeah. Well, put it in there because I have just a couple things we can do to like
And like,
enforce that.
if we constrain it, then, well, you just constrain it in the metaschema. But if you constrain it and then decide that you don't want to constrain it, you can remove it, but you can't put it in after V1, you know? Because it's breaking change. Taking it out isn't a breaking change, though. What do you think? Remove examples from spec. It'll reduce the like maintenance of all this shit, and it'll make it easier to spot mistakes because you will have to look at the text, not the examples.
Like I like that the examples are in there. Like if we can move them out and generate them back in, maybe. I don't know.
What about moving examples, linking to examples instead of putting it in the specification document?
Like, I don't know. I vote take them out because all the information's already there. They're supplementary, and it's just another thing to get wrong and reduce the quality of the overall spec. Like, if you read the spec, you'll get the information you need. Like, maybe we include one example, but I don't even think we should do that. Like, it would make the spec just freaking so much simpler, easier to maintain. Like, if we're talking about like how easy or hard it is to consume, like, most people would probably be better off just looking at the examples already. Like, not these examples. These examples are even more confusing because you don't even know like what this is in context of. Like, you know it is, but like, it's just, I don't know, man. It's not very helpful.
It's helpful for me.
I think about the target audience too. They'd probably understand without the examples a bit, and then throughout the project org, I mean, we're going to already have examples and stuff.
Yeah. And another thing is that the examples are incomplete as well. It's not using every field that's in there. Some of them do, some of them don't. Like, it's a source of great inconsistency, and it's pretty much impossible to make any sort of recommendation or enforce any, like, you must have an example for whatever field you're documenting. Like, we can't really validate that. That's all I'm saying is, like, it's just going to lead to like poorer quality docs in the long run.
Yeah. Okay. Let's delete them, and then
and like you said, you can generate them and put them back in from the examples, but
like there's that was one of the barriers to being able to generate the spec.
Yeah.
Like readme. So I think after that gets deleted, we'll be able to figure out a good way to generate it.
Yeah. Okay, so that does it for spec issues that are properly linked to the, like, via the milestone and project.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Just want to make sure that they all have the project things, so we're not missing any. I believe it. Oh. No. Yeah, so Steph, this guy like came and asked a question, and I just like answered all his questions. And we just need to take this and put it into the FAQ thing. Oh yeah.
Where's our FAQ thing?
Didn't you finish this? Oh, I think it's in the wiki section here.
Yeah, I thought I closed it. It's in the wiki on the spec stuff.
Yeah. All right. So, okay, that's all we got now. So, barring any additional things, I guess this is what we're rolling with. I'm gonna add some notes to this one and this. Yeah. We kind of, anyway, I'm gonna add notes for why I think we should probably just can those for the first release. And I don't know, maybe we should think about doing the same with servers as well. So that makes it like very simple. And again, in the spirit of not ever breaking anything, like, I don't think I don't know. I just don't know if we'll be able to properly test those things in time to be comfortable with saying that they're ready to go for like the rest of this project's life.
Yeah, I'm confused. Like, what is 1.0? Like, is it the spec or is it part of the tools? Because if it's the spec, I don't think we should throw out links and servers. Vendor extensions, maybe, but the other two are way too useful for everything that we're going to want to build in the next.
So you're 1,000% sure that there needs to be no changes to those things? You're willing to bet the entire project on it? So like when we actually go and add links to the client generator and servers and vendor extensions, like you're positive that there's going to be nothing you are going to want to change?
I never said anything about vendor extensions, but for links and servers, yeah, that's the stuff that we need.
So you're 1,000% sure that none of it's going to change? Like, not that we need it. You're saying that we need it, but what I'm saying is that it's like you're positive it won't change.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if it changes, it's your fault. And the whole project's fucked.
Yeah.
All right. So we're good with this then?
Yeah, like this is pretty good.
Or yeah, so anything else that we need to figure out for 1.0 that's not listed here? Like, say, are we going to try to get a website for the Apex domain?
Yeah, open-rpc.org.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys want to see a preview?
Oh, you have something going?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see it.
Share my screen.
Should we add a ticket to have that be done and deployed by as part of version 1?
Yeah, we can do that, especially when we release and promote it. I mean, I
Or
guess
is that
promoting the website would be a little bit more better experience, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it might also be one of those things that falls in line with like that website's similar to one of the tools in that we're not making a 1.0 release of the website, but rather just the spec.
Yeah.
So just a commitment to saying that everything in the spec right now will never be broken. We'll never make a breaking change from where it is, from what it is right now. Is the point of this 1.0 release. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, let's see what you got.
Right. Yeah, and the site's just solely about all about the spec, not really everything else.
Are you sharing your screen?
Yeah. To close something. All right, that's the home page. I haven't really worked on this page yet. But oh yeah, so we have an about, right? We have all about our specification. This is just copied from the spec part. This is just based on Jekyll. People participating. Yeah, just telling people to get involved. Participate on GitHub. It goes to the main GitHub org. This goes to our project board. People get involved in these meetings. Leverage it, obviously, and I already contacted like Ethernode, and people are using our spec because I think the homepage will add like who's using it and stuff. Just transitioning people to get involved in all the communication channels we have for OpenRPC, and encouraging people to go to the playground, because that's obviously that's like the safe space to get started, I would say. And then for the specification page, as people go to the very simple, just go to the spec and share your implementations. And for the home page, I was thinking of adding obviously like users, and then maybe having some blocks to certain places to get started, like the playground, like the latest release. And yeah, it's pretty lightweight, but I think it's on a good path.
Yeah, looks sick. Yeah, we have spec.open-rpc.org, by the way. Just, I don't know if you want to link to the GitHub one or you want to link to the domain name one.
Spec.openrpc.org.
Yeah.
Oh, that's separate from openrpc.org, right?
just switch playground for spec.
Oh, this guy's Spec.
No, like just go to your URL bar, type spec instead of playground, and press enter.
Oh, okay.
So like this is kind of busted right now, but it'll live there. It's also on GitHub obviously as well. So I don't know, like linking to GitHub's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's pretty fucked up right now.
No, hey, I think this is totally perfectly fine. Like if you had like Markdown rendering, that's cool, but this is totally usable.
Well, it's supposed to be doing Markdown rendering right now, but something's broken in there.
Oh yeah. No, because you think about academic, like it is academic the way it's already just posted.
Yeah.
That's how they do shit.
So like there's this, but then there's actually there's a way better way to do it. But like it's super gross and hacky. Basically like the way I had it originally was when you go to spec.openrpc.org, it was actually a PDF. And it would just load the PDF in here, right? And then the PDF was created from me just doing like Command P on the GitHub page and just removing all the shit around the stuff, like around the README. And then that way it's just like, that's pretty much the easiest, best way. Like, so if you went back to GitHub, like go to the GitHub, like the spec on GitHub. Yeah, and then
Open API.
no, that's fine. Okay, yeah. Well, this works too, but so like right click inspect element.
Just do it in Spec.
Okay. Yeah, and then basically like just press up arrow a bunch of times until it's like highlighting a couple more times.
Repository content?
Yeah, that's the only thing that you want to keep. Delete everything else. Well, like not everything else, but just like, okay, collapse this. So press left arrow and then go down one, press delete. Up one, press delete. Like delete everything around it is kind of my, nope, not it itself, just everything around it.
Oh my God.
So uncollapse it. Yeah, keep like just use your arrows, dude. So delete that one. Oh man, this is gonna take way too long. All right, just it takes 5 seconds if you know what you're doing, but
yeah, I'm like lost my eyes now.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, and then you do Control P or Command P, and then you can select as PDF, and then it just has only the PD, like only the README in there left.
Really? Oh yeah, that makes sense.
But that's the way to get it the best looking. But like, I don't really know how we would do that as a automated deploy. Like the reason why I came to that was like I was looking for a GitHub Markdown to PDF tool, and like the one that's on spec.openrpc.com right now.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of those types of tools. It just really sucks, and it's not going to PDF. It's just trying to make a web page out of it. But it's broken. Anyway, so I gotta fix that. I guess I should make a ticket for that.
What if you just make it like GitHub Pages? Oh, it's already good.
It is a GitHub Pages.
That's weird.
Like go to the root, like click code, go to docs. Yeah. So like that's all it's doing. So like this converter thing is supposed to, like this showdown thing is supposed to work, but maybe it is, and I'm just not doing something. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's working though.
Right.
So anyway, I made a file.
Should we do an issue for that?
Yeah, I made an issue for it. But yeah, like I'm not married to the idea of having like spec dot openrpc.com. Like I do like that, but and I also would really like to the like semantic release really should be creating a PDF and putting it in the release or whatever, so that when it like makes a release to GitHub, it has like the Markdown file, but it also has a PDF. So
Yeah. I think I'm thinking that like it makes a zip of all it's what it says the source files are or whatever, right? So maybe when you do like if you generate it during the build process and you push it up with everything.
oh, I know we can.
Right?
I know for sure we can. It's just a matter of the hard part is actually generating the PDF where it doesn't look like crap and it doesn't need like some crazy dependency like some like Chrome or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that can run in Circle CI anyways. Maybe it doesn't matter. But I saw like one that does exactly what I said, but it does it using like WebDriver or whatever. But yeah, there's a couple others, but that like make PDFs, but they kind of look like junk. Like the PDF that it produces doesn't look very good.
I have a feeling this would work if you just threw that in the header tag. I don't know.
I think maybe it's actually just.
I think there's probably a CSS file that goes on with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. Actually, there's this website here that I guess you can just include the Markdown. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there's a thing that packages the CSS for GitHub. I think that might work, perhaps. I don't know. The problem is it looks like the tables are just totally busted on the output. Like if you look at what's up there right now, spec.openrpc.org, and then look at like any of the tables, it just did not make them into tables whatsoever. And I think it's because of because we have those A tags in there that we needed for to make things deep linkable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I gotta sort that out, I suppose.
Okay, well, we got lots of stuff on there. Get going.
Yeah. Anything else? Any other things that we're missing for the spec?
Mhm.
Is there any like specky sort of things that we need to do? Like, do we need to like, I don't know, copyright or fuck or whatever, like trademark stuff? I don't know. No?
It's a good question.
All right. Well, if you guys think of anything, just write some tickets.
Could put the license in the bottom of the specific the README at least, right?
I think it's at the top somewhere.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
up
it is
top.
too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, meeting adjourned, I guess.
Until next time.